Hi, and welcome to the Geeky Boomer. I am Pixelpia, your host. Today's episode is a continuance of last week, and we are going to talk more about AI. In my last episode, I talked about the history of AI, how we use AI today, and some of the misconceptions around AI. Today, we are going to focus on some of the concerns around the use of AI and what can be done to limit the mistakes that can happen using AI. And we're also going to take a short little glimpse into the future. So, without any further ado, let's get into today's episode. The first concern is about bias. Since AI systems learn from data, they can pick up and even amplify existing bias. For instance, if an AI used for hiring is trained on past data that's biased against a certain gender or ethnicity, the AI could continue that discrimination. Bias in AI, particularly in machine learning algorithms, is a significant concern and an area of ongoing research. Bias refers to skewed outputs produced by the system, which can be due to a range of factors. So let's take a closer look at those factors. Data bias. One of the most common forms of bias comes from the data used to train the model. If the training data is not representative of the real world, the model may produce biased results. For example, if a facial recognition system is trained primarily on images of light-skinned people, it might not perform as well on images of dark-skinned people. Pre-existing bias. If the data used to train an AI system contains human biases, the system can learn and perpetuate these biases. For example, if a machine learning system is trained on hiring decisions made by a company that has historically favored certain groups of people, the system may learn to do the same thing. Confirmation bias. AI systems can be subject to something akin to human confirmation bias, where they overemphasize data that confirms the patterns they've already learned and underemphasize data that contradicts those patterns. This can lead to overfitting, where the model performs well on its training data but poorly on new, unseen data. Selection bias. This occurs when the data used for training does not accurately represent the environment where the model will be deployed. For instance, if a language translation model is trained mostly on formal text, it may perform poorly on informal. Addressing bias in AI is a complex task that often involves careful selection and handling of training data, rigorous testing of the system's performance across different groups, and regular monitoring and updating of the system in the real world. It may involve techniques such as fairness through awareness, designing systems to be explicitly aware of potential sensitive attributes like race or gender and ensuring that their predictions are fair across these attributes. Bias mitigation algorithms, techniques that modify the training process to reduce bias in the resulting model. This could involve resampling the training data, changing the learning algorithm, or post-processing the model's predictions. Explainable AI, developing models that provide clear and explanations for their predictions can help identify when and where bias is occurring. Addressing bias in AI is crucial for building systems that are fair, trustworthy, and beneficial to all users. Another ethical issue revolves around privacy. As AI systems became more pervasive, they're collecting and analyzing more and more data about us. How do we ensure this doesn't infringe upon our privacy rights? Privacy is a major ethical concern when it comes to AI technologies. Many AI systems, particularly those based on machine learning, rely on vast amounts of data to function effectively. However, the collection, storage, and use of such data can raise serious privacy issues. Many systems require a vast amount of personal data to operate effectively. This can range from personal information like name, age, address, to more sensitive data like health records or financial information. The collection of such data can lead to privacy concerns if individuals are not fully aware of what data is being collected and how it will be used. Informed consent. AI systems often operate behind the scenes in many applications and services, which can make it difficult for individuals to know when and how their data is being used. Even when consent is provided, it may not be fully informed if the information provided is unclear or misleading. Data sharing. Once data has been collected, it may be shared with third parties. This could be other businesses, government agencies, or even cyber criminals. In the event of a data breach, each additional party that has access to the data increases the risk of misuse. De-anonymization. Even if data is anonymized, sophisticated AI techniques can sometimes re-identify individuals. This means that seemingly non-personal data can sometimes be traced back to specific individuals, posing a significant privacy risk. Surveillance. AI technologies can enable mass surveillance and profiling. For example, facial recognition technology can be used to track individuals in a public space, while data analysis algorithms can be used to create detailed profiles of individuals based on their online behavior. Data security. The more data that is stored, the greater the risk of data breaches. Despite best efforts to secure data, breaches do occur and can result in sensitive data being accessed by unauthorized individuals or entities. Longevity of data. With digital storage, data can potentially be kept indefinitely. This means that decisions based on that data, accurate or not, could have long-term implications for individuals. Addressing this privacy concern is a complex task that requires technological, legal, and societal solutions. Some potential strategies include implementing stricter data protection laws, developing more secure data storage and processing methods, enhancing transparency around the data use, and promoting privacy-preserving AI techniques, such as differential privacy and federated learning. Finally, there is the issue of transparency, often referred to as the black box problem. Many AI systems are so complex that it's hard to understand why they made a certain decision. As we use AI in more critical areas like healthcare or criminal justice, it's important that we can understand and explain its decisions. The black box problem in AI refers to the issue of being able to interpret and the transparency in AI systems. It's called black box because in many cases, the working of these AI systems are not easily understood or explained. The inputs go in, the outputs come out. But what happens in the between is often opaque, even to the AI developers. One major challenge with many AI models, especially complex ones like deep learning networks, is that they lack interpretability. That is, it's difficult to understand why they're making the decisions they are. While they can be incredibly powerful and accurate, they work by developing high-dimensional representations and decision boundaries that don't easily translate into human understanding. Troubleshooting and improvement. The black box problem makes it difficult to troubleshoot and improve models. If a model makes a mistake or demonstrates bias, it can be hard to understand why that happened or how to fix it without a clear understanding of how the model is making its decision. Trust and acceptance. For people to trust and accept decisions made by AI systems, they need to understand how those decisions are made. This is particularly true in high-stakes areas like healthcare or criminal justice, where decisions can have a significant impact on people's lives. Regulatory compliance. In some jurisdictions, companies are required to explain decisions made by AI systems, particularly when they impact consumers. For example, the European Union's General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, includes a right to explanation, where individuals can ask for explanations of automated decisions that impact them. To tackle the black box problem, researchers are developing techniques for explainable AI or interpretable AI. These techniques aim to make AI models more understandable to humans. Some approaches include model simplification, developing simpler models that are easier to understand. These models might be less accurate, but their decisions are more interpretable. Feature visualization, creating visual representation of what individual features or neurons in the models are doing. Local interpretable model agnostic explanations. LIME. This is a technique that approximates a complex model with a simpler one around the point of interest, providing insights into how the model works for specific instances. Counterfactual explanations. Explaining a model's decision by describing what would need to change in the input for the model to make a different decision. Through these and other methods, the field is making progress in opening up the black box of AI, though there is still much work to do. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are ongoing efforts to tackle these challenges, from creating guidelines for ethical AI to developing techniques to make AI more transparent and fair. We're at the start of this journey, and it's something we need to navigate together. But what's next for AI? The very first thing to note is that AI is not slowing down. We can expect it to become even more integrated in our daily lives in ways we can and can't yet imagine. We'll likely see AI getting better at understanding and interacting with us in a more human way. And we will see it tackling more complex tasks. We can also expect a growing need for AI literacy, just as a basic computer skills became a must in the digital age. Understanding AI will likely become increasingly important. This doesn't mean that everyone needs to become an AI scientist, but we all need to understand what AI can and can't do and how to use it. AI literacy refers to the knowledge and skills necessary to understand, use, and critically assess artificial intelligence and its impact. It's about enabling individuals to navigate the increasingly AI-driven world confidently and responsibly. This will include things like basic understanding of AI concepts, understanding what AI is, how it works, and the types of problems it can solve. It doesn't necessarily mean understanding the technical details of how different AI models work, but rather having a general sense of how AI is trained, what it can do, and its limitations. Understanding of AI's impact on society. This involves understanding how AI is influencing various sectors such as healthcare, transportation, and employment, and its impact for privacy, security, and social interactions. Critical assessment of AI. AI literacy also involves the ability to critically assess AI technologies. This means not just taking AI decisions at face value, but being able to ask pertinent questions about the data AI use, the assumption it makes, the transparency of its decision-making process, and the potential for bias and error. Ethical consideration of AI. This refers to understanding of the ethical issues surrounding AI, including bias, fairness, accountability, and transparency, and the impact of AI on decision-making in various fields. Data literacy. Since AI often depends on data, understanding basic concepts about data, its collection, analysis, interpretation, and how it can be manipulated is also an essential part of AI literacy. AI literacy is increasingly important for everyone, not just those who plan to work directly with AI. As AI continues to permeate our society, from the news to the products we buy to the healthcare we receive, having a basic understanding of AI can help individuals make informed decisions and engage in thoughtful conversations about the role of AI in our society. Many educational institutions and organizations are now promoting AI literacy through various programs and initiatives. Finally, let's not forget that as with any technology, the future of AI ultimately lies in our hands. It's up to us as a society to decide how we use it, how we control it, and how we mitigate its risks. So as I wrap up the AI journey today, I invite you to think about what role you want to play in shaping this future. And as always, I have a question for you. Now that we have discussed what AI is and how it's part of our everyday lives, can you think of an instance where AI has made a noticeable difference in your day-to-day life? Share your AI stories with me by using the comment section below or at the website, thegeekyboomer.com, where I have a contact form you can use. And if you allow me, I will share some of your stories in a future episode. So there you have it, my 2 first episodes about AI. Since I am a geek, I am sure we will come back to AI in future episodes. But for now, we're going to move on to something that's really interesting, at least for me, and that is the development of the smartphone and how the fact that we now carry a computer in our pockets have changed the way we communicate, both online but also in our direct interaction between people. So if you want to be a part of that journey, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell underneath so you will get reminded on when I upload. Until next time, bye!